Well, good evening. Welcome to another edition of Bedtime Stories with me, Pastor Michelle. Today is the Tuesday, August, what's today's date? 4th edition of Bedtime Stories. And so we will continue on with, there's me, the Bible characters, and we'll also continue on with the Disney stories. And so today's August 4th, and so our story of the day is centered around the movie 101 Dalmatians. And the title of our story is Special Delivery. So let's get right into it. Roger and Anita had a lot of puppies, and that meant they needed a lot of food. Every Thursday, a truck pulled up full of dog food, and every Thursday, Raleigh waited by the window for the truck. One Thursday, Raleigh and Pepper noticed that the back of the truck had been left open. "Are you thinking what I'm thinking?" Pepper asked Raleigh. Raleigh nodded. "Snack time." Raleigh and Pepper made a dash for the truck and leaped into the back. Pepper clambered up onto the pile of bags and sniffed around. There had to be some loose food somewhere. "Bingo!" Pepper cried. "Raleigh, up here." Raleigh was there in an instant. Slurp, slurp, crunch. The two puppies were so busy eating that they didn't see the truck driver come out of the house. Slam! He closed up the back of the truck. A second later, it was rumbling down the road. "Uh-oh," Raleigh whispered. After what seemed like a very long time, the vehicle lurched to a halt. The back door opened and the driver began unloading bags of food. Pepper and Raleigh jumped out of the van while he wasn't looking. They ran and hid behind the house. "What do you two think you're doing?" a gruff voice asked. The puppy spun around. A big bulldog was looking down at them. "This is my property," the dog said. "It's time for you to scram." "You don't scare me," Pepper said boldly. "You're not half as bad as Cruella." The bulldog's mouth fell open. "Do you mean Cruella de Vil?" he asked. "You must be Pongo and Perdita's puppies. I heard about your adventures over the Twilight Bark. Your parents must be worried about you. I better get you home." Luckily, Pongo and Perdita were out that day and didn't realize what a pickle Raleigh and Pepper had gotten themselves into. But there were 97 puppies waiting in the front yard as Raleigh and Pepper arrived with their escort. "Wow," said Lucky after he heard their tale. Were you scared of that big mean bulldog?" "No way," Pepper said. "That bulldog was all bark and no bite." I feel like that's what our dog is sometimes, Lemmy. She barks a lot sometimes, and I feel like she's all bark, no bite. Yeah, it's a good way to describe. I do hope everyone's doing okay in the midst of this awful pandemic. But I do enjoy doing these videos. It's nice to have something I can control doing these videos. It's nice to have a little bit of control over your circumstances in the midst of so much you can't control. And I love posting these, on my Facebook and on the family Facebook page. And so let's continue learning about Bible characters, shall we? So, and this is from the National Geographic magazine that I purchased. And so tonight, our character of the day is Noah. So let's hear about Noah. God soon discovered that the wickedness of humankind was great in the earth. He decided to destroy his creation, people together with animals, for I'm sorry that I have made them, he said. Only one man found favor with God, Noah, a direct descendant of Adam and Eve's third son, Seth. Noah and his family were the only humans to be saved from the coming cataclysm. The instrument of the rescue was a boat, a very large ship made of gopher wood, covered in pitch. God provided detailed specifications of how this ark should be built. The length of the ark, 300 cubits, its width, 50 cubits, and its height, 30 cubits. Make a roof for the ark and finish it to a cubit above, and of every living thing of all flesh ye shall bring two of every kind. Did such large ships exist? Excavations suggest that large cargo ships did ply the waters of the Nile as early as the Old Kingdom in Egypt, which was circa around 2500 BCE. It is interesting to note, however, that Genesis makes no provision for either a rudder or a sail, which some scholars believe may indicate that the ark was not meant to be navigated, but merely carried by the waters under the protective hands of God. For 40 days and 40 nights, Genesis continues, God sent down rain, and all the fountains of the great deep burst forth, and the windows of the heavens were open. A description that some scholars interpret as the reversal of the original creation sequence. And here is Noah directing the entry of the animals into the ark. And this is a painting by Franz Franken the Younger. And so there's this painting. You can see Noah and directing the animals. There's a dog. You don't hear about dogs in the Bible, though. And then this is a Babylonian tablet right there, right here, if you can see it, from 1635 BCE, and it describes the Great Flood. So this is a reversal of the creation sequence in which the waters were separated. Noah and his wife, as well as their 3 sons with their wives, were slowly carried up in the ark, together with every wild animal of every kind. The waters then swelled so high that even the mountains were covered. Only after 150 days did God cause a mighty wind to blow over the earth, and the water subsided. Eventually the ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. The plural mountains of Ararat has often been mistaken for the singular Mount Ararat. Ararat is, okay. The name of a tall mountain on the border of Turkey and Armenia. Mount Ararat is in fact a volcano which rises to an elevation of some 17,000 feet. Noah opened a window and sent out a raven, which flew to and fro, and then he sent out 3 doves in succession. The first could not find a resting place and returned to the ark. The second one flew back with an olive leaf in its beak, and the third never returned. Noah then decided it was safe to set foot on the earth. In gratitude for their deliverance, Noah built an altar and sacrificed a specimen of every clean animal and of every clean bird. God then pledged never again to destroy mankind. Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. God said, and as a sign of his covenant that the water shall never again become a flood to destroy all flesh, he placed the rainbow in the clouds. And so that's where the rainbow comes from, which the rainbow has become also the symbol for the LGBTQIA plus movement as well. And so, you know, stories of the flood, stories of great floods and of survivors who were rescued by gods abound in the Babylonian literature. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, a man named Utanpishtim faced the threat of a flood. He was told to build a large boat, similar to the specifications provided to Noah. It said, these are the measurements of the bark. The bark, let her beam equal her length, let her deck be roofed like the vault that covers the abyss, and take up into the boat the seed of all living creatures. So that's interesting. Here's an Assyrian tablet, which describes that, relates the Epic of Gilgamesh. And then this modern reconstruction of Noah's Ark is based on the specifications provided by the book of Genesis. So I don't know if that's the ark that's in Kentucky. I doubt it. It doesn't say, but I don't know. So, yeah, there's Noah for you. And it is a hard story to read, thinking about God just wiping out all of humankind. And I don't know. I don't really think it literally happened, but it's a story of deliverance. That's the way I kind of look at it. It's a story of God, being there for God's people. So, but that is our character of the day, and I hope everyone has a wonderful night and sweet dreams. God bless you all.